Hello there. Time and again, the evidence shows that only a small fraction of actively managed funds succeed in beating the market with any degree of consistency. But the true picture for active management is even more bleak than the figures suggest. That's because of something called survivorship bias, as Craig Lazzara from S&P Dow Jones Indices explains.
Let's say if I have a universe of 1,000 funds 10 years ago. I follow those funds through time. Some of them are not going to do very well. The ones that didn't do very well are likely to go out of business or to merge into other funds. And so of those 1,000 funds 10 years ago, maybe today 800 still exist in the same form that they existed previously. Those 800 are biased. It's not a randomly chosen 800, it's the 800 that have done well enough to survive until today.
Most comparisons between active fund performance and the index are not adjusted for survivorship bias. One exception is SPIVA. SPIVA compares the performance of different funds with the relevant benchmark. Initially, it just covered the US, but there are now scorecards for other parts of the world as well.
We simply compute every 6 months. How did the average fund do? How many of them beat the benchmark index? How many of them underperformed? Very, very typically, the answer is that the majority, in some cases a very decisive majority, of active funds underperform. Certainly that's been the case in the last several years in the US and globally as we've expanded the concept.
By way of example, the SPIVA for Europe scorecard for the 10-year period ending in mid-2015 showed that 89% of global funds and 91% of US equity funds failed to beat the market over 5 years. Over 10 years, the figures are worse still. The same scorecard also showed that just 46% of UK equity funds survived the full 10 years. The figure for UK large and mid-cap equity funds was just 41%. That's right, 59% of funds in that sector were either closed down or merged with other funds, almost always because of poor performance. Survivorship bias really is a serious issue. Goodbye.